Paul Klebnikov, Russian. Cyrillic capital letter P, Cyrillic small letter E, Cyrillic small letter V, Cyrillic small letter I, Cyrillic small letter L, Cyrillic capital letter U, Cyrillic small letter ER, Cyrillic small letter soft sign, Cyrillic small letter I, Cyrillic small letter V, Cyrillic small letter I, Cyrillic small letter J, Cyrillic capital letter H, Cyrillic small letter L, Cyrillic small letter I, Cyrillic small letter B, Cyrillic small letter EN, Cyrillic small letter I, Cyrillic small letter K, Cyrillic small letter O, Cyrillic small letter V. August 6, 1964. July 9, 2004 was an American journalist and historian of Russia. He worked for Forbes magazine for more than 10 years and at the time of his death was chief editor of the Russian edition of Forbes. His murder in Moscow in 2004 was seen as a blow against investigative journalism in Russia. 3 Chechens accused of taking part in the murder were acquitted, though the murder appeared to be the work of assassins for hire. As of 2018, the organizers of the murder had yet to be identified. Early life. Paul Klebnikov was born in New York to a family of Russian emigres with a long military and political tradition. His great-great-great-grandfather Ivan Pushkin participated in the Decembrist revolt in 1825 and was exiled to Siberia, and his great-grandfather, an admiral on the White Russian fleet, was assassinated by Bolsheviks. As a child, he was known as a daredevil, including swimming during hurricanes. He attended St. Bernard's School and Phillips Exeter Academy, and graduated from the University of California, Berkeley with a BA in political science in 1984. He then enrolled in the Officer Candidate School of the U.S. Marine Corps as a way to test himself, but upon completing the course, declined to take the offered commission. Instead, he pursued a Ph.D. at the London School of Economics, where he would go on to win the Leonard Shapiro Prize for excellence in Russian studies. Klebnikov wrote his doctoral thesis on agrarian reform in Russia following the Stolypin reforms that sought to build an independent, progressive, and prosperous peasantry. From 1987–88, he lectured at the Institute of European Studies in London. On September 22, 1991, he married Helen Musa Train, the daughter of prominent Wall Street banker John Train. The couple would go on to have 3 children. Reporting on Russia. Klebnikov joined the Forbes in 1989 and gained a reputation for investigating murky post-Soviet business dealings and corruption. In 1996, he wrote a cover story for Forbes titled, "Godfather of the Kremlin?" with the kicker, "Power, Politics, Murder. Boris Berezovsky could teach the guys in Sicily a thing or two." Comparing Russian tycoon Boris Berezovsky to the Sicilian mafia. The article was published without a byline, but was widely known to be Klebnikov's work. Klebnikov soon received death threats, and took a break from reporting in Russia to live with his family in Paris. Berezovsky subsequently sued Forbes for libel in a British court, because the story had been published in an American magazine about a Russian citizen. The choice of venue was described by several authorities as libel tourism. Berezovsky won a partial retraction of the story in 2003. Meanwhile, Klebnikov expanded the article into the 2000 book Godfather of the Kremlin, Boris Berezovsky and the Looting of Russia. Believed to be based heavily on interviews with Alexander Korsakoff, the head of security for former President Boris Yeltsin, the book described the privatization process used by Yeltsin as the robbery of the century and detailed the alleged corruption of various Russian businesspeople, particularly focusing on Berezovsky. The book met with mixed reviews in journalistic circles. A review in the New York Times praised it as richly detailed and effectively angry. Klebnikov released a second book, Conversation with a Barbarian, Interviews with a Chechen Field Commander on Banditry and Islam, in 2003. The book is a transcript of a lengthy interview with Chechen rebel leader Kazhahmet Naukayev, conducted in Baku, Azerbaijan. In the course of the interview, Nukayev gives his views on Islam and Chechen society. In the same year, Klebnikov was chosen to be the first editor of the Russian edition of Forbes. Because his wife and children did not wish to move to Russia, Klebnikov agreed with them that he would take the post for only 1 year. The magazine only put out 4 issues before his death, including an article covering Russia's 100 wealthiest individuals, which some commentators speculate may have been the reason for his death. Murder on July 9, 2004, while leaving the Forbes office. Klebnikov was attacked on a Moscow street late at night by unknown assailants who fired at him from a slowly moving car. Klebnikov was shot 4 times and initially survived, but he died at the hospital after being transported in an ambulance that had no oxygen bottle, and the hospital elevator that was taking him to the operating room broke down. Authorities described the attack as a contract killing. The publisher of the Russian edition of Forbes stated that the murder was definitely linked to Klebnikov's journalism. Various commentators have speculated that the magazine's recent story on Russia's 100 richest people may have triggered the attack. Others suspect Berezovsky of being behind the murder. Russian investigation in 2006, prosecutors accused Chechen rebel leader Kazhahmed Nukayev, subject of Klebnikov's book A Conversation with a Barbarian, of masterminding the attack. 3 Chechen men, Kazbek Dukuzov, Musa Vakayev, and Fail Sidretinov, were arrested and tried in a closed trial for the murder, but all 3 were acquitted. Sidretinov was later convicted on unrelated charges and sentenced to 9 years imprisonment, while Vakayev and Dukuzov had their acquittals overturned by the Supreme Court of Russia, allowing them to be re-prosecuted. In July 2007, on the 3rd anniversary of the murder, the U.S. Department of State protested the continuing failure of the Russian government to find the perpetrators, calling for further investigation. U.S. President George W. Bush also appealed directly to Russian President Vladimir Putin for action. Vakayev and Dukuzov were scheduled to be retried in 2007, again in a closed trial, but could not be located. On December 17, the trial was postponed again because of Dukuzov's continued absence. The process then quietly stalled. In July 2009, Russian authorities agreed to reopen the suspended investigation into the killings. They also stated that they no longer believed Nukayev had masterminded the murder, though they continue to believe he played some role in the attack. Legacy. In 2004, the Committee to Protect Journalists posthumously named Klebnikov one of 4 winners of the CPJ International Press Freedom Awards. An organization named the Paul Klebnikov Fund was established in his memory to award an annual Courage Prize to journalists, as well as granting internships to young Russian journalists to work in Western media. Klebnikov's Exeter classmates endowed an annual Klebnikov lecture to honor his memory. The first Klebnikov lecture was held on May 12, 2006, at the 25th reunion of Klebnikov's Exeter class, 1981, and featured remarks by the Wall Street Journal correspondent and Exeter alumnus John Karp. Project Klebnikov. Project Klebnikov is a global alliance specifically devoted to developing new information on the Klebnikov murder and to furthering some of the investigative work Klebnikov began. The organization was founded in July 2005, and includes over 20 journalists and partner media companies. The organization has an international representation of investigative journalists, including individuals from Vanity Fair, 60 Minutes, New York University's Department of Journalism, The Economist, Bloomberg News and Forbes. It was launched by 8 journalists from Bloomberg, Vanity Fair and Forbes on July 9, 2005, the anniversary of Klebnikov's murder. Journalist Richard Bihar serves as the organization's director. Books. Klebnikov, Paul, 2000. Godfather of the Kremlin, Boris Berezovsky and the Looting of Russia. Harcourt. ISBN 0-15-100621-0, ISBN 978-0-15-100621-2. See also Anna Politkovskaya, Dmitry Koledov, Georgy Guangad's list of unsolved murders, Vladislav Listiev. References. External links. Paul Klebnikov speaks about Russian and American rich people. Video from YouTube. The Paul Klebnikov Fun Project. Klebnikov, Godfather of the Kremlin? By Paul Klebnikov. Voice of America. Kerry marks 10th anniversary of slaying of U.S. journalist in Moscow. RIA Novosti. Kerry marks anniversary of Klebnikov killing with call for Russian probe.